Hello children, today we are going to start new chapter that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In plants, sexual reproduction occur by flower. We know flower is only the reproductive part of the plant because it has two main structures, that is androecium and gynoecium, which helps in sexual reproduction. So first of all, see the flower. As flower is the reproductive parts, so what is it actually? It is modified condensed shoot arising on the axil of a small leaf-like structure called bract. We know children, there is a leaf-like structure on which all the floral part lies. And flower consists of four holes. If we talk about the complete flower, that is, if we start from outer side, first is calyx, then corolla means the petals, and inner to it androecium is a third hole, and innermost, that is a gynoecium. Androecium represent male reproductive part and gynoecium represent female reproductive part. In each plant, generally calyx and corolla is common to all the flower, but some flower have only androecium and some are having gynoecium, and some flowers having both gynoecium and androecium. Such type of flowers are known as complete flower. Now, pre-fertilization events. The events which occur before fertilization, we already studied in first chapter. In this process actually, many hormonal and structural changes occur. As a result, which lead to the differentiation and development of floral organs. Because if a pre-fertilization event takes place, then only the floral organs developed fully to carry out the process of sexual reproduction. Now, development of male gametophyte. What is male gametophyte? That is pollen grains only. Actually, pollen grain represent male gametophyte. So, first we will learn about the structure involved in it. Later on, we will learn about the development of it. First, stamen. We know that stamen or androecium. When numerous stamens are there actually, because stamen that are having anther, and anther is having many microspores inside it. Actually, microspore mother cell is there, which divide to form microspores, and microspore that undergo development formed a well-developed pollen grain. Actually, and that pollen grain contain two male gametes. So first we learn about stamen. Actually, androecium, that is a term for all the stamen present in a flower. But stamen, here we are talking about only single structure. It is a male reproductive unit of angiosperms and it has two parts, filament and anther. We know that the stalk-like structure, the long structure, that is known as filament, and anther, that is a bilobed structure present at the terminal part of the filament. And where it is attached, anther, completely stamen is attached to the petals. That is why it is written the proximal end of filament is attached to petals. That is why it is also known as epipetalous. We learned in class 11th, if you remember it. Now, structure of anther, which is present on the filament, upper part of the filament. Anther is bilobed structure, each lobe having two theca. Theca means the compartment, means each divides into two compartments, and separated by longitudinal groove, means one lining is there which separates both the compartments, running lengthwise. Now see this structure of anther. You can see line of dehiscence. It means from where pollen grains are released out. And pollen grains you can see here. I have not drawn it. Here also pollen grains are there. Pollen grains are present in this pink color structure. It contain pollen grains. And both the side line of dehiscence are there. Here actually you can see that pollen grains are released out. These are the pollen sacs where pollen grains are found. Clear? Just see the diagram and you have to draw it in the copy. And this is the filament. So internal view is there. Now structure of microsporangium. Microsporangium means a structure in which microspores are found. That is known as microsporangium. So it is surrounded by 4 layers. These layers are epidermis, endothecium, middle layer and tapetum. And just remember children, these 3 layers are protective in function. Means epidermis, endothecium and middle layer provide protection to the microspores. And tapetum, it has very different function, that it provide nourishment to the microspores or pollen grains. And these 3 layers, as I told you, these provide protection or protective in function. These also help in dehiscence of anther, means rupturing of anther, in order to release the pollen grains. Just see this diagram. You can see it will be understood. Outer 4 layers are there. Epidermis, endothecium layer is there, then middle layer is there, tapetum, innermost layer you can see, innermost one, tapetum, it provide nourishment to the developing embryo. Now see, to this epidermis, sporogenous tissues are there. These are very specialized tissue. Actually these tissue have the potential, means it acts as a PMC, which forms microspores. Just see this also. Now when mature, numerous pollen grains. When it is dehiscence, the pollen grains is released out. This diagram also you have to prepare it. Now children, cells of tapetum possess dense cytoplasm and have more than one nucleus, means multinucleated we can say. And when anther is young, the sporogenous tissue, as I told you, it is surrounded by tapetum layer, isn't it? It occupies the central position in each microsporangium. Now microsporogenesis, what is this process? The process of formation of microspore or the pollen grains from pollen mother cells. This is known as in short PMC. By the process of meiosis, that is why tetrad of microspore are formed. Means 4 microspores are formed. This process is known as microsporogenesis. So what is microsporogenesis? Process of formation of microspore from pollen mother cells by the process of meiosis. Now, each cell of the sporogenous tissue, as I have shown the diagram, that sporogenous tissue is centrally located. It is a potential, means it behave as a pollen mother cell and give rise to tetrad of microspore. By meiosis, as I already told you, when anther mature and dehydrate, the microspore separate from each other and develops into pollen grains. Because of the meiosis, tetrad of microspores are formed. That means one cell of sporogenous tissue that behave as pollen mother cell and each form 4 microspores. These microspores, that when it is mature, these separated from each other and develop into pollen grains. Inside each microsporangium, several thousand of microspores or pollen grains are formed. I have shown the diagram. And these pollen grains are released with the dehiscence of anther. Now, pollen grains or male gametophyte. Actually, this term has been taken from the Greek language palinos. Palinos means dust. We know that when we touch any flower, just dust like substance that attest to us, sometime actually powder like we can say, or of various colors, generally yellow in color. If you touch the hibiscus, nowadays hibiscus are flowering, so when you touch it you will find dust, yellow color dust or powdery substance. Actually that is only a pollen grain. Pollen grains represent the male gametophyte. They have different shapes, color, design and size also. Means various type of pollen grains. Pollen grains are haploid and uninucleate. Pollen grains are generally spherical and its size is about 25 to 50 micrometer. We know that what is the meaning of micrometer. Micrometer is a SI unit which is generally used to measure the microscopic particles. Now the structure of the pollen grain. Pollen grains has two layers. Outer layer is hard called exine. It is made up of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin. Actually, really it is very hard layer. That is why the pollen grains is resist to the temperature and other factors. But sporopollenin is the most resistant organic material, and it, as I told you, because means it can withstand temperature as well as strong acid, strong bases, and no enzyme is there which can degrade it. That is why pollen grains are preserved as fossils. In outer layer there is a place that we called as a germ pore, from where the pollen tube emerges out. Because although I told you it is very hard layer, but there is a place that is known as germ pore, from where pollen tube emerges out. And do you know what is pollen tube? Actually, the pollen tube is the inner layer of the pollen grain, that is intine, made up of cellulose and pectin. Cellulose, we know that it is a type of complex carbohydrate. And what is pectin? Actually, pectin is also a gelatinous polysaccharide, or we can say it is a water soluble carbohydrate generally present in the fruits to attach different cells together. And sporopollenin, I told you, very hard substance. Actually, it is a chemical, inert biological polymer which is very stable and well preserved in soil and sediments. Each mature pollen grain has two cells, that is generative cell and vegetative cell. Although generative cell is there, so that is small in size. Vegetative cell, it has lot of reserve food material, so it is larger or bigger in size. In majority, angiosperm pollens are in two celled stage, as I told you, vegetative and generative stage. Whereas in other species, the generative cell divides into two male gametes and pollen is said to be in three-celled stage. When the generative cell undergo division, it form two male gametes, then it is known as three-celled stage. Now see this diagram. Just see, outer layer is exine and inner layer is intine. Here tube cells are there. This diagram, two-celled stage, generative, and upper one is the vegetative. Now pollen tube, you can see that inner layer comes out, that is intine as a pollen tube, and outer layer remain as such. And from where it comes out? Because in outer layer there is a place where sporopollenin is not found. That is what? That is germ pore, from where only the intine comes out as a pollen tube containing two male gametes. Now, what is the significance of pollen grains? They contain male gametes for sexual reproduction. These are rich in nutrients, and that is why taken as food supplements. Even the athletes also take it to increase their efficiency. Now, pollen grains can be stored for many years in liquid nitrogen at the temperature of minus 196 degrees Celsius and can be used as crop breeding programs. Some pollen grain can also cause allergy. As a result, that person can suffering from the certain respiratory disorders such as asthma, bronchitis, that is a lung cancer. So generally Parthenium or carrot grass is there, which can be grows automatically here and there, and that causes this type of allergy. Viability period, that is the period in that only a pollen grain can germinate. After that it will not germinate. So some is given in NCERT that you can see rice and wheat, they are having their viability period 30 minutes. So 30 minutes viability period is there for rice and wheat, and some member of Solanaceae, you know that potato family, rose family, Rosaceae, Leguminaceae, legume family, they are having viability period of 1 month. So children, you have to complete all your notes. What I have given, I have already given it to you. I discussed everything. You have to draw the diagrams which are necessary or which I have shown to you, and you have to revise it regularly because you are preparing for the board examination and you have to pass with flying colors. Soon I will give you more notes through these videos. Stay safe.